Hi everybody, this is Maria Clark at Sweet Willow Designs and welcome to my studio. Today I have another swirl pendant for you. This one is a Valentine themed with a Be Mine sentiment and some falling hearts. I hope you enjoyed this project. Let's get started. The tools we'll need for this project are a pasta machine or a clay roller, an oven, an extruder, which is optional. You could just roll out the snakes of clay. If you're using the extruder, you'll need the extruder die with 19 holes, an alpha stamping set, clay blade, a needle tool or a hand drill, an acrylic block. I've used a cutter, a heart shaped 3/16 inch, and this is also optional. You could cut those free form, a craft knife, and a stiff paintbrush. For the materials, we'll need clay. I use Primo, but we'll need small amounts of white, red, and a pink blend. We'll need some red acrylic paint, sandpaper. I used wet dry 400 grit. Varnish, which is optional, and I think the recommendation I would make would be for Valentine. And then we'll need some jewelry findings, a pinch bail or jump rings, and a necklace finding. I've shown this technique in other videos to make a simple swirl bead by applying just strands of extruded clay in the color of your choice, and you could of course mix any kind of colors that you were interested in. In this one, since it's a Valentine's Day project, I went ahead and used a light soft pink, and I just wrap the main string around the center and then add little spokes to about half of the ball of clay, because when I start to swirl this, I actually want to have one part of the piece that is white so I can add some other elements to it. Just roll that and then start to use an acrylic or a glass block to swirl it about 50 to 100 times till you get a nice swirl, and then press down so that you can flatten into a pendant shape. We'll pull that off of the acrylic block and it's ready to go for the next step. In this particular design, I'm adding a stamping and I'm adding the sentiment Be Mine. So I've just got a little stamping set and I'm adding the letters. I'll add the BE for the B and then the MINE, and I'll just use those alpha stamps until I've got my sentiment placed where I'd like it on the swirl. You can see that I'm kind of overlapping the swirl. We're going to highlight that with some acrylic paint at the end, and it'll make a nice contrast to the white and pink clay. Once we've completed our stamping, we're going to go ahead and add some cutout hearts, and I use of course a 3/16 inch cutter, but you could freeform these hearts and just draw out with a craft knife, cut out with a craft knife your hearts. And I'm adding about 5 hearts, and I'm just placing them randomly in what looks like a nice design placement. Once we get those in, I'll tap them down lightly so that they're adhered well to the clay. And once I've got all of those elements added, I'll go ahead and put this on a card or paper, put it in the oven, and tent it so as not to burn it. Once this is out of the oven and cooled, we'll take some red acrylic paint and we'll go over and fill in the sentiment, Be Mine, that we placed on the pendant. And then we'll take a damp paper towel and just wipe off some of that excess. You want to be careful to not be too extreme with this so you don't take it all off. And then I've got a little bit of the 400 grit wet dry sandpaper, and I'm just going over that a little bit more to take some of that finish off. I'll go ahead and drill a hole just using a hand drill, and refine that hole in the back as well. Once I've got that completed, I've got a very simple pinch bail. These are really neat pinch bails, and I like to use these a lot. And you just place those in the hole, and there you go. You have your completed pendant. I think that looks really cute for a Valentine's Day gift. Well, thanks for joining me in my studio. That completes this project. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe, leave me a comment. I really enjoy hearing from you. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this and want to see more videos like this. And again, thank you for joining me in my studio. Take care.